because sometimes it's fun to have some little
snippets,
some little behind the scenes. But yeah, dude, and the last couple episodes I forgot to put this on. I don't even know where I'm gonna put this, but I just wanted to show it off. Like, wait. Here, dude, I'll help us out here. Come on. Okay. Well, there is like some reflection, but that's fine.
I love a little reflection.
Me freaking too. So that
wow,
it's
I've never like worn headphones like this.
It's pretty fun.
Where's my phone? I want to like take a little pic.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
I don't have it super loud, but
can I turn you up a little?
Turn it up more. Wait, I can even turn it up more over here. Okay, see, now you can hear me louder in the headphones. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. It's really fun to sing.
Wow.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a little test recording, so we just make sure that's recording. And you don't have to speak right into it, you can like have it on the sound. But here, I'm just gonna record it for a second. We're talking. Oh wait, I don't have you recording. Hold on, sometimes it's a little silly. I didn't have me recording. Hold on. Let's try this again. Okay, so at this point, both tracks should be recording, and they are dope. Say something.
Ooh, hell yeah. Both tracks are recording.
Cool. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little bit of an intro,
Okay.
and then we'll get into it.
Okay.
I need some.
I'm also gonna put my phone down. I just wanted to make it sleep.
Yeah,
I'm feeling
yeah.
like Alex Cooper from Call Her Daddy. Morgan was sitting on my face.
Dude, I've been breaking out.
I can just invited this before I like throw up.
Yeah. As much.
Honestly, a spoonful of watermelon might be better. Can I do that really?
Yeah.
There's
There's even
some
a big
some
old
sugar. Well, I don't want to be like chewing in your.
That's okay.
It'd be like this.
No. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, my hungover body really needed that nourishment. That juicy juice.
Here, stick your face right here. Love that. Okay. Greetings, my fellow humans. I hope you all are doing splendidly this fine day. We're doing all right over here. I feel like this episode is going to have a little bit of a different tone in the past. I feel like, not because you're on, just because of like how life is right now.
Oh, I was like, oh yeah.
No. Well, that too. But, okay. Anyway, we're going to get into that later. I'm Kat, and you're listening to This Human Thing, a podcast on the human experience. This show is a space for people to share their stories and perspectives on their own slice of life. And as you listen to the conversation, perhaps you'll connect to what we're saying and how it shows up in your day-to-day, or maybe you'll be able to take on another point of view. More empathy, more understanding for yourself, for others, or maybe you just like the sound of our voices. And we can whisper for you if you like, as long as you want. Anyways, the mission of this podcast is to invite you to look and feel more deeply and honestly into your personal experience so you can cultivate greater connection to yourself, to others, and to all of life. We're talking about a lot of different things. We're never pushing a certain viewpoint on anyone. We're just sharing our personal stories, inviting you to experience whatever is true for yourself and then go live that. So I'm sitting here today with one of my oldest pals, Taylor Freeman. And Taylor and I have known each other since freshman year of high school, and I don't keep in touch with that many peeps from back then. So it's pretty special. That's like 9 years.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's been a really long time. Going on 10.
Yeah.
Which, like, when you think about it, it's almost half our life.
Yeah. You know, just little 14-year-old Kat and Taylor riding the school bus, doing whatever else we would do. Anyway, by some fate, Taylor and I ended up living 10 minutes from each other in San Diego. And so I'm so excited to have her on the show today because I think you're very well spoken. You have a lot to say. You have like strong beliefs and opinions, which I love. Like it's honestly like boring and like not very, what's the word? I can't think of it, but
I know what you mean.
It's just like it's not fun to listen to someone who just kind of like agrees with everything.
Yeah, there's no
or
like edge, no like pushback, no like conversation back and forth, and that's like how you grow and like evolve your opinions anyway. You know.
Yeah. The word I was trying to think of is like gratifying, but that's not the word that I meant.
Yeah.
There's like a cinnamon.
Cinnamon. I love a little cinnamon.
A synonym that would have worked well there. Anyway, so you have like one of the most insane lives, like best stories out of anyone I've ever met. If you care to get into anything, otherwise I'll just leave it at that. And it's so astonishing to watch you move through life with so much love and passion, no matter what. And you know, no matter what keeps getting thrown at you. You know, as I've told you before, like you go hard for the people that you love, and you've got one of the biggest hearts ever. And
thank you so much.
Yeah. And like you're someone who knows that like love doesn't always look like rainbows and butterflies. Like it looks like those hard conversations, and it looks like pushback, and it looks like getting in fights, because you know that's how you're able to make those relationships more authentic. Seriously.
And to like know people on a deeper level too, you have to have like the uncomfortable conversations and know the things that maybe aren't your favorite about someone to like learn to appreciate them and like understand them, you know.
No, for sure. Because otherwise it's just going to stay surface level. And again, it's just like agreeing with everything. And there's no growth in that.
Yeah, that's not. That's
yeah. So we're going to get into all the goodies. So Taylor, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. This is my first little podcast. I'm so excited. I have no idea what to expect, but I'm like pumped. I'm down.
Yeah. So I have like a little bit of an outline, just so if the conversation dies out, I can just like pull up a topic, you know.
I love it.
But otherwise, like I just want to keep it casual and just see where it goes.
Okay.
And like as I like mentioned earlier, like I'm gonna be honest, all my episodes have been like pretty like high vibes and like lovey and all that, but like I just kind of want to like
that's not how like life is going right now.
I know. I just
like this like week has really been hard to like see that, like feel that, you know.
Yeah.
Remind yourself of like the positive shit, and like you just keep getting hit like over and over.
Yeah. Like I literally just want to shit all over everything today. Not physically, but like with my words.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not a complainer. Like, I just, you know, I don't, like, want to put that energy out. Like, I keep it in my head. I don't need to press that on other people. But, like, it's important to, like, get that side of life out because, you know, like, you're cheating.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah, like, you're cheating yourself by, like, trying to spread this message of, like, oh, it's all peace and love. I'm like, that's only one side of the coin.
Yeah, for real.
And, like, you're just neglecting all of the, like, horrible, fucked up shit that happens in life if you're just saying like, guys, it's all good, don't worry. Like especially
like how nice it must be to feel that way.
Lucky for you. And like honestly, dude, like we were gonna record this episode earlier in the week, and then we just were in the couch, so that was not gonna happen. But I'm glad that we like put it off today. Because like I feel
I'm like feeling energized. It's sunny, it's hot, feeling awake,
Mm-hmm.
angsty, a little ready for a real raw combo.
No, me too. And like that's the thing. Like I'm feeling that angst and like
Yeah.
that anger or
I
whatever.
love
like,
when we're both feeling angsty. Like when one of us is, it's just kind of like, like, like I
sorry.
hope like things get better. But when we both are, it's like you said, like I don't love to be like, it's not fun being like super negative, but like being angry or like frustrated with someone, I feel like makes it feel like less of a confusing emotion. It's like, okay, yeah, like this is totally valid. Like stuff like shit's hitting the fan, and it's like fine. But like at least like there's someone like dealing with it with you. Yeah.
And it's like that camaraderie. It's like we're going into battle together.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, over on that side of the battlefield. Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's pretty bad over here too.
Yeah.
Like glad we can connect on this.
No, for real.
Yeah, but ugh.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like a lot of times when we are having conversations that aren't necessarily like dripping with positivity, it's still not like a deep dark cloud. Like I feel like our like what could be considered a negative conversation is still productive, still like constructive, or still like moving, like trying to like get through it. We're not just like bitching and moaning about like nothing and not doing anything about it. It's like to help process like stuff, because I feel like if you hold in this angst that we're feeling, then eventually like it'll come out in ways that are not
like
ideal.
hurtful. And no, I think that that's such an important distinction to make, because like we all know that like that person, or like know many people who just literally nonstop complain about everything.
Oh yeah, and I've been that
like,
person. And I'm like, okay, Taylor, like we really gotta reel it back. Yeah, like certain times in my life I just really can't like knock it off, and someone's gotta shake me awake. And I feel like I've tried to get a lot better at like recognizing that in myself. And I mean, I think, well, whoever's listening doesn't know this, but like a lot of it has to do with my mental health. I think like really being able to control like my mindset. So trying to remember that, it doesn't like have to be like that. Like I don't have to like everything can suck, but like there are like little things that I should be happy about, and like focusing on those, like thank God for that shit, because that helps a lot.
So huge.
Yeah, it's a really big help.
Because like okay, every time I like go through some bad shit, it like I am grateful for it, because, and I know we've talked about this before, like if I hadn't gone through like my level of horrible things, I would be selfish and self-absorbed, and I wouldn't have much of a care for like other people's problems, because like I literally wouldn't be able to relate.
You can't if you're not experiencing, not the like I mean, I guess everyone wishes that they weren't experiencing trauma, or like hadn't experienced trauma, but I feel like if you haven't, there's this level of like awareness I don't know how you would obtain. I just like genuinely have no clue how, like, not that it's impossible, I don't have all the answers, but I just feel like, yeah, like having that, it just makes it's so much more relatable. You just like are able to relate to other relatable. But like you can like, I just feel like you like listen easier, like shit just like hits you harder, you're more empathetic, and I don't know if anything's more frustrating than someone that I feel like cannot like relate or grasp a situation.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because I know a lot of people like that. Like, everyone goes through difficult times.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like when you really go through like any level of something that, you could actually label as like trauma.
When it's an objectively difficult time. Yeah.
Like, I don't really even know how to expand on that.
Yeah.
But I met with Audrey, one of her high school friends, this morning, and I had like a lot of energy this morning. I don't know why. I barely slept.
Yeah, I was like dying this morning.
Yeah.
Like bouncing off the wall.
But like something that we were talking about briefly was like how so many people just are constantly living in this like middle ground of just like almost like uncomfortable comfort. Mm-hmm. Where, they're not hitting those super low lows, but they're not getting those high highs either, because, and I was like writing this last night, I'm like, dude, like your average like white American, like middle class, like suburbia person, like, that's kind of like the American dream or whatever. And I was like, this thought came into my head last night. I'm like, if that's the American dream, like our system is set up to breed absolute pussies. And like no offense to vaginas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like wimps.
Yeah,
you know?
for real.
Like
Yeah.
because I was just thinking, okay, Jimmy, you are born into this white middle class family. You grow up in your neighborhood. You go to your high school, blah, blah, blah. You're not, you know, maybe you have a little side job or whatever.
Yeah. Did you didn't have to have?
Yeah.
You had it because, like, you probably wrecked your parents' car or something.
Or,
you know?
like, your dad was like, Jimmy, why don't you go work at the ice cream shop? It'll build some character. And
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
sure
You got a
thing,
job for
Pops.
character.
Yeah. Anyway, you go to college. Your parents pay for it. You pretty much just party all of college. You don't even really need to try in school. I was thinking about this yesterday. I'm like 90% of college is a fucking joke. And like, you know, so many kids cheat their way through high school, get into college, and then they just, you know, they can just get very mediocre grades in college, and then they can land some corporate job and, you know, like
literally like slide their way into success with
doing
like
the
minimal effort.
bare minimum. Like you really don't have to try. And like sure, like I just remember, especially like being in Greek life in school, like I'm literally like peeing myself laughing thinking about like the things that people were stressed out about. Like like a test. Okay, like you're stressed out about like this test. Oh, why? Because you decided to go out 5 nights a week and you didn't study and you don't go to class. Yeah. And like you're stressed out because like
that's hard. You chose your stress.
Yeah,
you
and
brought
same
that
thing.
upon
It's
yourself.
like so stressed out because like, oh my god, like Larry was supposed to take me to the date function, but Steve said, I don't know, like, guys, I just really want to go to Sig Chi, but like, Pike is just really calling me tonight. I'm just so torn, and like, what do I wear if I go to Sig Chi? I need to wear this costume because it's, you know, guys and fries or whatever the fucking mixer. It's just like literally ridiculous. And yeah, and you're just staying in that like middle space your entire life, and like just where you barely have to try, and stuff is just kind of, I mean, maybe like not necessarily like handed to you, but it just kind of seems that way. You just don't really have to try for anything. Yeah. And so again, it's like this uncomfortable discomfort where you're not comfortable because you're just kind of existing. Yeah. And you're just kind of going with like society or whatever, as like cliche as that sounds. But yeah, like you're not hitting.
Well, it's hard because like when that's happening, you become so unrelatable to other people. Like background, I didn't go to university. I didn't, you know, do like Greek life or anything. So like Catherine knows that. But I feel like with the people that I've ran into that have had like lifestyles similar to the one you just described, when I talk about struggles that I experience, or probably at like other people, when anybody talks about struggles that are, I wouldn't call it more valid, but a little bit
I think
deeper under the surface. Yeah, okay, when they're more valid. Yeah, when your struggle's more valid, like they think it's like hitting you the same way that it's hitting them. Like, no, like your money, like regarding like your party or your Uber or your whatever, like is coming from your parents, and like these are optional things. But like in the real world, people are stressing out about like food and water and shelter, and couldn't give less of a care about like, you know, like it's just, I feel like when, and it's like such a happy, like these people that live these lives, like it's such a happy spot for them to be in. It's so like generally carefree that they don't, like you just become so inaccessible, I think is maybe a good word for it. Like I feel like you can't.
And you still make up so many problems when you're in that space. So you think that you're like struggling just, okay, so say my name is like Susie.
Okay, Susie.
And like I'm in, I don't know, let me think of a sorority that doesn't exist. Delta Phi. And, you know, oh my God, like blah, 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 problem. And I think that like what I'm feeling because of those problems is the same as how you're feeling because like, oh, I can't buy groceries this week. And you think that is the same level of like trauma as like I can't get.
I'm like
a sober
when
ride
you
home.
can't buy, and when you can't buy groceries, you still have food at home. it's not that there wasn't food. You know, you're still not going without. You just don't have extra. And I think that a lot of people like take that so much for granted, which I guess in one way is beautiful. Like, I'm glad you've never been seriously lacking, but also like you have such a better appreciation for when you do have things, and like so much more appreciative of other people's efforts, and I feel like other people's successes when you know what it feels like to actually have nothing, or to actually have a real loss. Not like a loss that makes you bummed out, but like a devastating loss, like whether it's, you know, in your personal life, love life, like family stuff, the health stuff, whatever it is. Like, if you haven't, you know, if your biggest loss is like something that doesn't actually matter, but like you think it, like, I don't know, I have such a hard time, I feel like, with people like that. Like, I try my best to be as empathetic as I can. And I think we struggled with this a lot while you were in school, because I wasn't in school. We were living such night and day lives, and like you were like killing yourself in school, trying so hard, like killing it. But just like through people that I would meet at university, because I was never there unless I was like visiting you, you know, I like saw that a lot. I was like, this is very interesting. Yeah. Like, wait, why are you sobbing right now? Because you, okay. Like, I just,
because like the sober pledge, like,
because you
didn't answer
you had
your
to
call.
get a job because your parents didn't want to pay for your whatever it's called, your fees, your dues. Yeah. Like, that's a really tough problem. Like, I just love to go to school, actually. But like, okay.
But I'm sorry, Susie. Yeah. And again, like, it's like everyone's problems are valid.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And they all impact, you know, it's like super subjective.
But I'm just like speaking about how, even though, and again, like in my eyes, your problems are much more valid than mine. Even though my problems are valid, like the severity of what you have experienced in my eyes, and I'm sure in your eyes as well, is like much more intense. Like, you've gone through a lot more. With all that said, like, I'm so grateful for like the shit that I've gone through, because even though like I may have not had the same experience as everyone, like I've been able to like dip into those really scary places, and like honestly all that makes me want to do is like love more.
Yeah, really. Really. I think that it creates a lot more like maybe just like a deeper urge to understand people. Like, when you've had that like deep pain, like you want to be there to support and uplift anyone else who's going through that in any way you can. And like, you know, even trying to have empathy for like the Susies and the Jimmies of the world, you know, who I just have a hard time, you know, like really trying to relate and like hear them out on certain things. Like, you know, I just know that sometimes to me, my brain makes a mountain out of a molehill, and it's probably the same for them, and like just remembering that it's equally justified. But I feel like the Jimmies and Susies may have a hard time seeing it that way. Like, it's not a two-way street. Like, you have to experience the bad to be able to like do that for people. You can't, you know, like, I feel like that's like a learned skill. You don't just
definitely
do it.
And that actually like very well, I saw this quote last night, and I was just like, literally, I just felt like a huge like pang in my heart, and I was just like, yes. So it said, a lot of things broke my heart but fixed my vision.
Yeah. Wow. And that, when you said that, like, obviously you just said it, but like 15 different things like flooded to my brain when you said that, and I was like, wow, interesting. Yeah, I like that quote a lot.
Because like, even with those devastating losses and those traumatic experiences and blah blah blah, like whatever like negative stuff you've been through in life, like, yeah, like that was horrible, but I am a lot less ignorant now. Yeah. And I'm able to see situations not just through like rose-colored lenses, you know?
Yeah, really. Damn.
I really liked that quote.
Yeah, me too. I like it. Yeah, because like I don't know. I like personally, I guess through heartbreak, like I oftentimes find myself really like wallowing in it, whether it's heartbreak over like needing to move or over a relationship or like a family occurrence or whatever's going on.
Because all these traumas really are heartbreak in some form. Yeah. Like, it's not just romantic. Romantic seems to like hurt more for some reason, but there's also like heartbreak over like, oh my God, like I don't have a place to live, or like, oh my God, like I don't know, just like
COVID's happening and I have to move out of San Diego in a week and a half. Yeah, like that's
it's heartbreaking.
But like, and you know, like through each thing, and I guess like through a lot of the things that I first thought about when you had said that quote, I just like learn so much. And even if I can't like specifically verbalize like what it is that I've learned, like I feel like I do my most growth like when like so much stuff is changing, when I'm like really hurting. Like I had like posted about this, and I think you said something about it, you know, like I have a lot of stuff, like a lot of things are erupting in my life right now. And it was feeling really frustrating, and instead I tried to think of it as like I feel like I'm being like hurtled towards that place of growth. Like this is so hard, it sucks so bad, you know, it hurts or whatever feelings I'm feeling, but like it'll be fine. Like eventually like it'll be fine. And like things, you know, I've learned lessons here that like I probably won't realize until I'm in that same situation again. I think that's like something that I have a hard time with, is when I learn a lesson, I don't know that I learned that lesson. No, I like for sure have no idea. And I had been trying to be more mindful of it. There's this like other podcast, I don't even remember what his name is. I had listened to it and I was driving across the country, and he was talking about like trying to keep track of your most important lessons that you've learned each year, because like me specifically, I am a repeat offender. Like I always have to learn things the hard way, but like kind of have to learn it 2 or 3 times because I want to be in denial that like that's the lesson I learned. Like that's not the way that it was, but and like that's so valuable, you know? Like there's no I don't know. I just dang, I really like that quote. I like want you to send that to me. I like want to like sit and like think about it a little bit.
Yeah. And it almost, okay, so like, you know, you have a lot of emotions stirring up inside you. And, you know, this is just a little example. You have a good cry. Yeah. And then afterwards, you don't really know why. It's not like you really like dealt with anything. Mm-hmm. But you just afterwards, you just feel better. You feel more clear.
Yeah.
You can almost kind of like laugh at the reason why you were like upset in the first place.
Yeah.
And it's just like kind of that same thing. It's like when you go through any kind of trauma, any kind of heartbreak, it almost feels like this like layer has been like ripped off your eyes, or like ripped off of your like perspective.
And you're like, Deb, like I thought I was looking without any rose colored glasses, but like I had some they weren't rose colored, like they were dark red lenses. Like I like no,
it was just
like,
straight up black.
Yeah, like
dude.
I just like lied to myself for 6 months, and I've been thinking like something's the reality when that is just not the case. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Mm-hmm. But that's like just like the beautiful thing about growth. And this is something else that I wanted to touch on, because you know, when you go through trauma or you go through heartbreak or anything negative, it can go like either of 2 ways. Either that negative experience can cause you to close more, or it can cause you to open more.
Yeah. And
like you're someone who, I mean, definitely like it's like a natural reaction to close off when stuff happens, because it's fucking traumatic. You're like trying to protect yourself.
Yeah.
But in general, like what I see from you is like all the stuff that happens to you, it just causes you to open more. And like no matter what happens, like you still are gonna love more. You're still gonna try. Like you're not gonna give up, like no matter what happens. And like like out of like everyone I know, like I have probably like the most respect for you.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know if I was always that way. I think like growing up, I mean, you know, my childhood was like just like very wild. And I think that I didn't like I kept being open, and eventually like through my adolescence, I think I started becoming really closed off, and I think that was when like my mental health was probably at its worst, and I like wasn't coping well, and I had thought that it was better each time I got hurt. I was like, okay, like I keep loving people and I keep getting shat on, so like this is not working. How about I like close off, deal with this myself, like isolate myself, you know, like. And I don't think it was really intentional. I think this like thought process, it was just kind of natural. It was
yourself.
My brain would be like, okay, Taylor, like you're being stupid. Like you keep thinking this is gonna, you know, fix itself. But then after I did that and I experienced those lows, like there's no point. Like at this point, like so much stuff has happened. Like I'm sure things like could get worse, but they already have. Like they've already been so bad before, and like here I am, like, fine and functioning. So yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, jinx it. I'm sure there's something that could really rock the boat. But I feel like, in general, I have been doing such a better job of, like, trying to just take things in stride. And, like, what you say all the time, you're like, okay, like, end this. I'm just like, okay. I say, like, this is fine. Okay. Okay, like, let me just swallow this and, you know, handle that however I need to handle it. Because, like, sometimes, instead of, like, I do still feel that urge to wallow, like, my brain literally, like, stops making the proper chemicals, and I just, like, need to, like, wallow. But still, through that, I try to, like, reach out. I try to love. I try to, like, talk about it, because it's just, like, so much sadder dealing with it alone. And it's so nice to have people that, like, you know, who know me inside and out, but also have experienced their own trauma. So, like, you're not just, like, staring at me like, yeah, like, that sucks. Like, damn, like, like, I wonder how you'll fix that. Like, you know, we can have, like, constructive, productive conversation, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like.
No, I love those conversations with you.
Yeah.
But I think that it is super important, like, when you go through trauma, when you go through that heartbreak, like, it's important to have a grieving process.
Yeah, like, listen to yourself. Like, listen to your body. Like, if you're like, oh, like, why am I still in bed? I'm tired. Like, because your body, like, you're exhausted. Like, when you were sleeping, your brain was probably thinking about this whole situation, and you weren't resting. You weren't actually resting. Like, get the rest you need. Take that day for yourself. Like, and I, you know, especially with COVID, I've had a really hard time remembering that, like, I need to allot myself personal time still, because we had so much personal time. Now I'm like, oh, I don't need any. Like, I'll be fine. Like, I'll just keep doing stuff and keep working, and, like, I don't need to sleep, and I don't need to, but, like, I do. Like, I realized very quickly, like, okay, I'm wearing myself out. I have all this stuff going on, and I'm not processing it, and, like, it's affecting me physically. Like, I feel like, honestly, like, if you don't take care, like, if you don't listen to your body and, like, what you're feeling, if it's negative, like, eventually, like, you're not going to sleep, you're not going to eat, you're going to become dehydrated, lethargic, like. And I go through this often. That's a struggle I'm constantly trying to, like, work on, is, like, giving myself that space. And a lot of times I think I need less space than I actually do. Like, I need a lot of time to process things. And I think like, being honest with yourself about that too. It's not always just an afternoon, or for some people, like, a meditation, or for some people, like, a weekend. Like, depending on what it is, like, you know, I just feel like our subconscious works so hard. Like, I know I have 1,000 things in my mind at all times, and that's just kind of how my brain's always worked. But, like, at the end of the day, the amount of exhaustion I feel, like, there's stuff going on in the background, and, like, you have to, like, respect that. Like, I feel like people don't think about that. They're just like, just gonna sleep and work, and, like, it's fine. Like, no, like, listen to yourself. Like, if you're sad and you're tired, like, it's for a reason. You're not sleeping well, it's for a reason. Like, what's going on, you know? Like, what can you do to, like.
Because if you keep ignoring that, that's just going to continue to get louder and louder and louder until, like, you finally address it.
Yeah.
Or if you just, you know, you're just like, no, I'll just pick up a cocaine habit or something.
Yeah, it ends up, like, showing itself in really weird ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, for sure. And, like, with, like, the whole work situation and, like, going back to, like, that empathy, like, when you started working, like, because Taylor and I both, you know, were not working during the, like, first part of COVID, it is still happening. Then we started working again, and she started working before I did, and I didn't see her very much at all because she was working so much.
Like 6 days a week, and at least 4 or 5 doubles a week. And it would be like 12 or 13 hour work days were my doubles. My single days were like 7 hours, and it would be like on average like 8 miles a shift. And, like, going from, like, not moving to that, and, like, I would just think, hey, like, I'm gonna power through it. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, let me just tell you, and you know this full well.
Yeah.
Guys, when you were saying, like, you were saying to me, you're just like, dude, I have, like, reached this level of exhaustion where I cannot sleep. Mm-hmm. I cannot eat.
Which just sounds crazy.
It sounds crazy. I'm like, and again, I was just like, oh my God, that sounds horrible. Because it sounds horrible, but I had no idea what that was like until I work a double, eat, like, I don't know.
3
like
fries.
Like
a leaf of lettuce.
Yeah, and I get home at, like, midnight, and I'm like, oh, yeah. I make a big dinner, and I take one bite, and I'm like, I can't eat this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't eat this. Yeah. And then I get into bed. I'm literally so exhausted.
And your body's, like, shaking. You can feel, like, your blood sugar's low. You can feel that, like, you're like cold. Like you're like literally like not nourishing your body.
And then you can't sleep. And then like, yeah, like last night I got home at like 11:30.
I was so surprised when you texted me at like midnight. And I'm like, are you good? Why are you awake? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. And then I proceeded to not go to bed until like 1, just couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
And then woke up at 6 for some reason.
Oh my God.
Just full of energy. And I'm like, wonder why this is. Like, I wonder if this is like some kind of like instinctual mechanism where we're like in fight or flight. So it's like, you don't need food, you don't need sleep, you need to keep going.
Yeah,
there's something
no,
chasing
really,
you.
Yeah. I think that's like very much a thing, because yesterday I was very hungover and I had to go to work, and I normally when I'm hungover I'm like stuck in my bed, cannot function, and I dragged my ass out of bed, get to work, and I'm like shaky. I know I have no energy in my body, like nothing like to keep me, and I just kept working. I just kept working, and I would like get dizzy, and I'm like, am I gonna pass out? Like, I guess not. Like, just gotta keep going. Like, how is my body like keeping up with this? But like, okay, if it's doing it, it must be okay. No, it's not okay.
Dude, like straight up survival mode.
Yeah.
And that's like how I've been feeling the past couple weeks. And like, you know, I felt like this at other times in my life for sure, but never to this degree of severity, of like literally like I'm just in full survival mode, like not only physically, but like, you know, oh, Kat, guess what? Like, no one is going to pay for anything. Like, you need to figure out a way to make rent next month. You need to figure out a way to pay for your groceries, like blah, blah, blah. Like, love my parents. But like, I called like last week, I called my dad because I was just going to just let him know my situation. And I told him, I was like, hey, like I have absolutely no money right now. And I'm starting to work, but you know, I'm just letting you know, like my car is breaking, my computer broke. The only way I was making money was from like doing like graphic design freelance stuff. And my computer broke. My car literally is going to die any day. I'm kind of scared to drive it. I like did not have money to pay rent. I am in credit card debt. And like, granted, I could have like worked through COVID, but I didn't. And that's my bad. So I'm not like blaming anyone. I'm not trying to play the victim, but I just literally wanted to tell him, hey, this is my situation. Thinking that maybe he'd be like, hey, why don't you just borrow this money and pay me back once you're working so that, you know, you don't have to go into credit card debt, because that shit is bad. Like literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars added on to your statement every single month that you don't pay your bill. And he was just like, well, I love you.
Yeah, I feel that. I love that response. Like, wow.
Thank you.
Thanks. I love you too. Like, I gotta go. I gotta go right now. Like, I don't know what else to say to you. I gotta go. Like, I'm so disappointed. I don't want you to know I gotta go. I didn't want you to know my plan. We had to get off the phone right now so you don't hear me crying. But like, I really thought you were gonna bail me out. Like, I gotta go.
Yeah, that was literally, I like couldn't even speak. I was like,
it's like broken.
It's like, okay, bye.
It's like a knife to the chest. Like, oh, okay. Like voice cracking, like shaking, like tears coming out.
I was like, I
think I understand. Thank you for your consideration.
Anyway, so I was just like, damn, dude. But here's my morning routine. Right. I wake up and I'm like, oh my fuck.
We're that going long blink.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, this? Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha ha. The sun came up again. Fuck.
I live near an airport. The planes.
Oh my god, yeah. Every fucking. I live right next to the base. You
hear that?
Yeah, I hear it 3 or 4 times a day. The first time I hear it is about 7 or 7:15. Then we got the 8 or 8:15, and then I hear it twice in the evening. I don't know if it plays in the middle of the day. Sometimes I get to hear them chanting. I live right by a naval and a marine base. For everybody that knows or that doesn't know, it's very noisy. Very, very noisy.
Oh my god. Anyway, and then I'm just like we're going through a heat wave right now in California, you guys.
Oh, yeah,
so
you don't have AC.
I don't have AC. I have the windows open right now and the fans on, so you guys might hear some background noise. Sorry, not sorry. I'm just not trying to sweat even more right now. And if you guys hear a plane fly over, enjoy that. I think some of my neighbors are having a party, so enjoy that. But it does
The
sound
birds of the slough?
the slough.
Birds
I
of
like
the
live outside a
slough.
marsh. But it did seem to be a Spanish party.
Oh.
So that is muy divertida.
I love it.
Anyway, what was I saying?
In the morning.
In the morning.
And you're like,
I
fuck, the
wake
sun
up, I'm like
came
all
up.
sticky from like, I don't know, like perspiring during the night. My face is so puffy because I just have not been properly eating or sleeping. I come into the kitchen, grab an ice cube, and just put it all over my body. This is my morning routine, guys.
Oh my god.
It honestly just like,
Is that
it's
nice?
the little things.
Is that nice for you?
That'd
That'd put me in such a bad mood. If someone was like, "Hey, Tay, like here's this ice cube, rub it on yourself, cool off." I'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
It's to like open the skin around my eyes.
It's really
It's
just
so
to make you less inflamed.
It's so I can see. Yeah, so I do that and then I go to work. Yeah, so last night or yesterday, so I've like been working a lot as well. But yesterday was literally Satan was among
It was
us.
85 degrees at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
For everyone's information.
And per COVID laws in California, everything's outside. So we're outside the absolute entire day. And I did not sit down once for 9 hours. I stood still in place for probably a total of 10 minutes. Otherwise, I was walking, running, lifting furniture, clearing off people's plates, getting them waters. I dropped not one, but 2 trays of glasses yesterday. This is why there's bandage on my finger.
Oh no, you got injured?
I did. So again, I'm like doing 3,000 things at once. I clear off a table for this family because there's always like a 40-minute wait at this place. So we're just like in, out, in, out, in, out. Everything's so fast paced. So I'm clearing off a table for this family, trying to open the door. Of course, I think like the bottom of the glass, I've never had problem like carrying stuff before. Like I've waitressed before, but I think like the bottom of the glasses are a little bit curved, so they just don't balance well. So one will fall into the other and then they're just all everywhere. Anyway, so I'm like picking the pieces of glass, just the big chunks off the floor, slice open my finger. I don't feel it because it's just so sharp.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, what is this trail of blood behind me? Oh,
cute.
Great. And so I just grab a paper towel so I can like go help this family. And I'm like trying to hide this like bloody paper towel behind me. And then I have to do like 5 things before I can like go find a Band-Aid. Anyway, so it's funny because like if you slice open your finger in a restaurant, they give you this thing called a finger condom. So it's literally like this condom that goes over your finger so that
Keep it sanitary.
yeah, so that was pretty fun. I have blisters on both my feet.
Since I started working, they just haven't gone away.
I literally
My
felt
feet, they looked so cute, and now they're just like rugged.
okay, my feet
Like a
have
mountain woman.
never looked cute. I always have like well, I just don't wear shoes a lot, so like I always just have like
No, even when I don't wear shoes, I just mine just be looking smooth.
Really? Okay, well mine be looking like
Dude, I never thought your feet were like
okay,
not
I don't
cute.
okay, it's not like gross. It's just like I literally have like an inch thick of callus. So like I could
but
step
you can't like see it.
I know, but like I could literally
so there's-
step on a dagger and be unscathed, you know?
Yeah, no, I feel you there.
Anyway, I literally felt like absolute roadkill.
Yeah.
Like that's the only like thing I could
Yeah.
use to describe it. I am not a crier. I'm not an emotional person when it comes to like labor. Like I'm a hard worker. I don't complain like when I'm working because like literally what's the point?
Yeah.
I am not gonna like try to go like hide somewhere to get out of work. Like I'm gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
But literally, thank God. Okay, not thanking God that we had to wear face masks because it's really hard to breathe when you're running around panting. But thank God I had a face mask on, because if anyone were to see my facial expression throughout the day.
I know exactly what you mean. That had happened to me at least like so many times at both jobs, and I'm like on the verge of like sobbing, or like my like I'm angry or whatever my face is. I'm like, I'm so grateful no one can see my face right now. Like damn.
Yeah, no, same. And like I was like really surprised that I almost cried like 6 times yesterday during my shift.
Yeah. A lot of it had to probably do with your like the level of exhaustion that you had. Because I remember, I mean, I'm not working like doubles anymore. I just have one job now, thank God. But I would like work one, go to the second one, and someone would be like, "Hey Taylor, like how are you doing?" And just like that question
like,
alone.
What do you mean? How am I
like,
doing?
I just would like I want to like malfunction. Like I don't even know how I'm doing, and like they ask you again, and I'm just like, your face, like you can just tell, like if they could see it, they'd be like, "Oh my God, like are you okay? What's going on?"
No, I'm not okay.
I'm not okay. It's not okay.
But I think that might be like another reason why they're like working us so hard right now, is like they can't tell that they're like killing us because they can't see facial expressions, and like everything has become like a lot more impersonal. And like I literally feel like I'm like a robot or a machine or something.
Yeah, seriously.
Because you can't see my face, you don't know how I'm feeling.
Yeah, or even like if like for example, the place that we both work, like if I need help like asking someone a question, I can't look at my coworker and like give them a face and them know they need to come help me right now. Or like, "Hi, like I'm actually having a panic attack. Like I need you to come like do this." And it feels like you're almost like working alone, you know? Because you're not like, I read somewhere, I don't really know if this is a fact, but like 90% of communication is nonverbal. And if most of that's coming from your face, you can't see your face. I mean, I have very expressive eyebrows, unfortunately, but
there's only so much those little guys can do.
Like, yeah, you just lose so much. Like, it's so much harder to, like, know people. Even, and I don't mean care about people in, like, a general sense, but I mean, like, you know, everything feels just less personal. It feels, like, less, like, important to me almost. I'm like, I can't, like, see your face. I feel like everyone feels less human. Maybe.
I definitely was feeling that.
Yeah.
Because, if any one of my coworkers could have seen my face yesterday, and I don't know, maybe they had that same face on of like literally looking like you're about to lose consciousness at any second. I think that, you know, some stuff would have changed. And also, like, I just like restaurants, in my opinion, in California, I don't know what other states are like they should not be functioning right now. Like,
no.
Like, the way
the customers are behaving, like as a business, they can only do so much. Like the business can only do so much, you know. Like it's not reasonable for like some of the protocols. Like it's literally not possible. Like as a waitress to do some of that stuff, but the customers have zero regard for our safety, happiness, like or just I don't know. The last I wanted to give 3 adjectives, but either one, you know?
Yeah.
Like they just like they're coming up with no masks, never wearing gloves, not sanitizing, like no regard for if you're busy, what you're doing. "Oh, your hands are full? I need you to wipe down my table right now." "Oh, you're, you know, like it's like everything is so well, we can't that's outside, you can't wipe down the table every time. People are sitting down at dirty tables and like it's just spreading. Like I know it's spreading. It's impossible. Like there's
literally it is the absolute breeding ground for disease.
It's
especially because everyone wants to be out. Everyone wants to be at a restaurant right now.
Especially this week, it's 85 degrees. We work on the beach across the street from the water. Everybody wants to eat at these places. And so they're coming up in their bikinis. They have no masks. They have no gloves. Haven't washed their hands. Can't wash their hands because our bathrooms are close to the public. I guess you could use a lifeguard one, but that's disease ridden as well. So like, there's not a safe way to eat out.
And like, oh, you put a piece of plastic between the 2 tables. Like, is that
good
supposed
thing there's
to...
a breeze. Good thing, like, yeah, that's not how
there is
that
no
works.
6-foot distancing. Like,
no.
I'm like,
people in line are like breathing down each other's backs. There's no,
It's just, it's at like from the first day I started working again. So the place that we work at together is like 30 times better than the other place I work
Yeah.
at in terms of like, oh, is this, you know, kind of safe for, but like the place that I was working at yesterday, I'm just like, and like it's not like anyone's fault necessarily, but I'm just thinking like, if anyone in the public wants to come and eat at a restaurant, like you are absolutely 100% exposing yourself to everything.
And they should
don't expect
that.
it to be safe.
They shouldn't, like, well, I think it's misleading of, I guess, like the government to put that standard on us, to make it seem like it's somehow a restaurant's responsibility, it's a gym's responsibility to make sure that this virus that's very hard to get rid of, like, isn't around. No. How about you all just stay home? And if you're going to come out, tip 20%. That's all I have to say about that.
Bam.
Just like a little...
Ugh, it's just not...
No.
It's
Especially
more
'cause
chaotic than it is normally.
It's so much more chaotic, and it's less money because everyone's like being cheap, but then everyone's cranky. So I feel like it's twice as stressful than when it was before COVID, like working in it. And plus we're making less money, plus we're at higher exposure rates anyway, and just nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's very frustrating.
I don't know. The entire way that the US is
handling
this is just laughable in the most like
it's
devastating
like laughably
sense.
I was literally about to say it's laughably devastating. Yeah.
And like when I get like heated about anything, then every time I see like any kind of injustice, literally there's like steam coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
Like I saw something it was either last night or this morning, because you know, like everything on like Instagram, social media, you know, like people are like reposting like all these injustices that are happening, and it's sad, but like after a time, like you become a little bit like maybe like numb to it because you're just like so used to it, but then
just becomes normalized. You're seeing it all the time, so you don't have a choice. I think it's subconsciously normalized.
Which is like horrible. But then like sometimes when I do get super heated, like like steam is coming out of my ears. Like I saw like another post this morning about ICE and just some of the stuff that's going on there, and I was just like, literally, what are we doing? Yeah. Like that is so like honestly, it's just so sad. Like literally what humans are doing to other humans.
There's no unity like at all. There's no like watching out for each other, like no like consideration of what it feels like to be the other party. Like it's just what I want, it's this way, and it's like ruining things.
And like why? What is this doing? Like what is this separation doing? It's just driving more separation and more chaos. Yeah. And I don't know, dude, like literally we're killing the planet. Literally people are becoming more anxious, more depressed, more unhealthy. Like just literally everything's like going to shit. Yeah. And it's all because humans don't know how to get along because they think they know something and they want to enforce their view, which like this is something that I come back to a lot. Like, and we've talked about this, like literally, guys, no one knows what life is. We just ended up here. We just, one day, we're born as a baby. We have this like consciousness thing that's going on, and we're born into a culture that tells us, quote unquote, like how to live and what right and wrong is. But really, we have no fucking clue what life is or what we should do or what we shouldn't do. And, you know, we can feel like literally in our gut, in our heart, what's like right or wrong to do, like what's ethical to do. But most people are so numbed out that they don't feel that at all. So they're just seeking pleasure and, you know, averting pain. And that is just so infuriating and so fucking sad.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Damn. It's just like having a moment of silence for the disappointment that we're feeling for the human race right now. Take a deep breath. Oh, Catherine took a real deep breath.
Oh, yeah.
She's still holding her breath.
I know. I just, like, I might just peace out right now, guys. I'm not going to take a next inhale. Yeah. Because, you know, there is so much beauty in life. Don't get me wrong. There's so many beautiful things. But there's also So there's the highest highs, and that's what life gives us. It gives us every possibility. It gives us the most like ecstatic, beautiful experiences, and it gives us the most disgusting, evil things as well. And that's just something like life, you know, it gives you all possibilities. And so for you to live in either extremity, you're really limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself not only by, you know, your connection to other people's, but really your connection to yourself by trying to, you know, pretend that certain things don't exist.
Yeah.
And I don't even know. I wasn't even trying to make a point with that. I'm just like saying, yeah.
Just some thoughts to put out there.
Just some thoughts.
To let linger in your mind a little bit.
I ran out of my train of thought there. It all faded away.
It derailed.
Yeah. Guys, let's just like love each other. Yeah, it's like not really that hard. You just gotta, you know, put your ego aside. Put your, I don't know. Yeah, it's really the easiest thing that you can do. It just takes letting go of like that pride or that resentment or whatever else it is that you're holding on to because you want to identify with that. And it's like in some way you're reinforcing I don't know, all the negativity that you have. So like if you form a negative belief and you keep like reinforcing that story, you think that somehow by doing that you're like holding yourself together, holding that identity together because like that's who I am, blah, blah, blah. And then once that starts to get cracked a little bit, then you just try to reinforce those negative stories even more, which is just making you even more separate. And even though it takes giving up some of your pride and your identity, but just like by letting that thing shatter, whatever story, whatever wall you have, just letting that thing shatter and like letting yourself be vulnerable to the fact that you don't know. Which is terrifying. It is.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's literally just like letting yourself open up to the fact that like, oh yeah, I actually don't know. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you know?
Yeah, literally, what do you know?
And you don't know either. And we're all just in this human thing trying to figure it out. So like, why don't we like try to figure it out together? Yeah. You know? And like easier said than done, but like literally you can make a difference just in your day-to-day. Just, you know, you don't need to worry about what necessarily, like, what's going on in the government. You don't need to worry about what your neighbor's doing, what your friend's doing. Not that you can't help lead them in a right direction or, like, if your activism is your purpose or, you know, going into for more, like, systematic change and all that. But, like, literally, like, what can you do? Stop worrying about what everyone else should do. Like, fix yourself. Yeah. And then people are going to come to you and, like, ask you, like, damn, girl, like, you're living, something's going right over here. Like, what, like, you know, because you really do influence, like, other people just, like, by the way that you're acting. Yeah. Mm. It's very true. I mean, we could, like switch up the subject. Dude, if you want. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, we might get back over here, but. Yeah.
Migrate around.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like my my exhaustion and my like anger that has been like culminating like the past week, and the thing is like these like emotions that have been culminating, it's like we've talked before, like we're really always okay. Yeah. And even though like all of these like quote unquote like negative feelings are arising, like I'm honestly like really grateful for them. And I'm not, like, getting, like, too caught up in them. Like, I'll definitely catch myself, like, getting, like, so caught up in them, like, a little, like, thought just, like, going a little too far. And I'm like, all right, let's reel it back in, honey. Like, let's reel it back. And it's, like, really, it's, like, no matter what, like, we're really okay. And, like, for me personally, and, like, I know that you're the same way, like, I will go and hit those rock bottoms because I want to experience all possibilities of life. I don't want to stay in that middle just slightly uncomfortable,
I would
safe
I'm
zone.
willing to risk it to like feel that hurt if there's, you know, I know something's coming out of it, like it's fine. Yeah. It'll be fine.
And also like I've just been noticing like the tiniest little things I'm just so grateful for. Yeah. Like I've like the hitting those rock bottom places, like it just it can, okay, like it has the potential to, whoa, where'd my thought go? It has the potential to like teach you to like not take things for granted and just to be like really grateful for the little things, like putting that ice cube on my face in the morning. Love that. I'll like walk outside and just literally take a breath, and I'm just like, oh, love that. Yeah. Like literally the tiniest little things. Like some guy like slipped me $5 yesterday, and I was like literally started tearing up. I was like, oh my God. It's like the only good thing that happened to me today.
Yeah.
You just get so grateful for those like tiny little things, and like that like deep appreciation for life and just noticing all those little details is like, yeah, dude, I would trade some horrible experiences to feel that. And it also makes you, sorry, I've literally been talking your ear off.
No, you're good.
It like also makes me appreciate time a lot more, because like since so much of my time has been like sucked into work, or me literally just like sitting frozen because I'm like too exhausted to move, then like the time that I have where like I'm feeling like fine and good, like I'm like making the most out of that time, because like I'm not taking my time for granted, which I think is something that a lot of people are just, you know, they're not really living, they're just kind of existing, just letting things pass by, just kind of waiting for the next thing. I think
maybe that's why I'm so frustrated about this move, is I felt like I spent so much time doing nothing because I literally couldn't, and then I knew that I was going to have to really like work myself to the bone for as long as I could to like get out of this hole of like debt. But I like, where was I going with that?
Taking things for granted, like your time.
Yeah. So I like, I am realizing now as I'm leaving, my days are very much numbered. What's the date today? It's the 23rd, and I leave on the 31st. So I have 8 days. 8 days left in San Diego. I've been here since Thanksgiving, so I'm not going to count how long that's been, but an extensive period of time. Most
like
of it.
10, 11 months.
Yeah.
Or like 10
like
months, yeah.
Most of it was taken up by COVID. And now that I am finally not working myself to death, mostly because of circumstance, I am having this time, because like before, the time that I would have when I'd be off work, I was just too exhausted. Like I wasn't, you know, money's not everything, but like at a certain point, you know, you have to like suck it up and like do what you have to do. And I was trying to do that. Shouldn't have, maybe. Wish that I like stopped and smelled the roses a little more, because now I have like 8 days and all these great things are happening. In the last 3 days, I've had such good days. I mean, work was like exhausting and shitty, but everything other than work, like the rest of my days, the last few days have been so good. And like certain people have been making me very excited, like certain things have been happening that are making me very happy. And it's so frustrating that like this wasn't happening earlier. I'm feeling very salty about it, but the lesson I'm trying to grab from that is like, even when I'm feeling a huge rush to make things, like, you know, to get my money right, and I'm not like talking about even like getting ahead, please don't get me wrong. I mean like paying my rent and filling my gas tank.
We're not trying to
feeding myself
bills right
so
now.
I'm not working 60 hours
Just
isn't getting me any stacks a week. You know, still the minimum. But I am kind of realizing that like I would rather be miserable for longer and working less and enjoying myself more than working my butt off to like with a goal in mind, because I have no idea what's going to happen the next day. Like I took these 2 jobs and signed up for working this much, having no clue I was going to be told I need to move in 4 weeks. No clue that like that was my plan, was okay, like I'm going to work myself to the bone for 2 or 3 months, and then I'll be able to get out and get my own place and like do it safely. And like I get where my head was at, you know, trying to better myself, better my life, move forward. Like I'm 23, I want to
completely logical.
Yeah, like I want to have my own like thing, but I'm realizing about myself maybe that like these like social experiences, like as much as I want to convince myself that like I don't need that stuff, like that's what fills my cup. It's not really I mean, I do love shopping, and that's just because like I like treating myself. I like knowing like I got whatever I have. But more than that, I think with COVID, like, so I have anxiety, but and in COVID, I felt like it was just getting like worse and worse and worse in every single regard, especially socially. But the last few days, like, things have just been getting like so much better, and I am frustrated that I didn't like wasn't living in San Diego with this lifestyle for longer, you know, casually working one job. I mean, like, and I'm still working decent hours at the one job. It's not like I'm like just working part-time and like doing nothing. Like, yeah, that'd be great to like live and survive happily that way. But, you know, just like remembering 6 days, 7 days a week, like just to get the money isn't, I mean, for some people that works, but for me it doesn't. And that was like a hard lesson to learn to, you know, as much as I like I'm always wanting to try to move forward and better myself and like feel like more of an adult, or more like, I mean, I am, but you know, like an adult on paper. I wanted to see like an adult on paper. Like, I don't know what the rush for that is, you know? My financial situation doesn't affect anyone but myself, and as long as I'm like eating and like paying for shelter, you know, the next most important thing I think I'm realizing for me is like having social interaction, like creating time for myself and other people. Like, I, you know, yeah, I like didn't like realize that about myself. Like, I knew I like, so like talking to people was really important. I know that like I have to talk things out loud, like to somebody else, even if that means I'm saying the same thing 20,000 times to you in an hour, which I know I do all the time. That's like what I need. So trying to like take that little lesson with me to Washington, you know, but I'm super bummed because we just worked our first shift together. Catherine and I have never worked together before, and we worked together for the first time. I loved the job, and I loved working with her, and I like love living here near her, and was looking for my own spot, and like just things I really felt like were like coming together. So to have that like screeching halt to just move myself is very frustrating, but I'm trying to, you know, in my angst about it, remember that like it'll be fine. I always think like it's always hard, and then at some point it gets better, and like you don't realize really when it's getting better. Yeah. But then you just like blink and you're like, oh, I had a good day today. Like, whoa, okay. And like that's kind of like when I started having good days a few days ago. I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I'm having fun in California. Like, I'm like enjoying myself. Like, I'm having like making friends and like doing things. Like, this is so weird. I don't know. It's making me want to like move back, but I don't feel like it's healthy for me to go to Washington with the plan of coming back here.
I mean,
but I do.
You could.
Is it like what I really do?
I mean, you could. I would not object.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm not gonna like recap what you said,
yeah,
but I'm just gonna say that I agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, like that's something that I learned, and I'm still learning, but yeah, of really not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you know, some people, they put everything on hold for their job. They put everything on hold for stability, whether that be like financially or where they live or whatever. And guys, like, I'm just gonna be honest, like, yeah, like stability is, it's safe. It's safe, but it's not fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't want a stable life. That means that it's like stagnant and steady. Like, I want a roller coaster. I don't want the choo-choo train, you know?
Yeah. No, I think I definitely figured that out about myself, that like I'm not. Maybe it's because I wasn't really raised with stability, so like it's like low-key in my blood. But one of my moms calls me Sherry. She calls me a nomad, and her tumbleweed. And like I think, you know, I just like go from place to place to place. But like, and that, you know, I don't have a career, so moving often equals like instability on like very intense levels. But it's just like worth it. Like that excitement for me, like starting over, like knowing that I literally drove myself across a country to like get somewhere like on my own. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, okay. And that's just so much more exciting for me, like so much more fun. Like, what's a little excitement with that? Like taking a little vacation that you shouldn't have paid for, but it makes you super happy, and like it's okay because you'll just work a little bit extra like the next
definitely.
Like,
and that's why like I used to have so much guilt over buying like anything.
Yeah.
And now like definitely it still comes up. Like for example, my computer broke. I need a computer. I didn't want to buy this computer. I have no business buying this computer right now if someone were to look at my financial situation. But I was like, like I'm not going to have a cow. I'm going to go and buy this computer, and it's okay because this is something that, like you said, like money comes and goes.
Yeah.
And honestly, I will be able to pay it off in a couple months, and that's fine. I don't need to flip out right now and like not buy one because I literally need a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that like goes for
things that you don't need. Like, I mean, like I had said, my life's flipping around. I just got some tattoos the other day. Shouldn't have got them. I've been saving to drive across the country. Literally zero business doing that. But I know how much happiness it brings me. I know how much like peace of mind it brings me. I know like how much these mean to me. And I decided that I felt like the payoff would be worth it, even if it means like more inconveniences for a little while. Like I'm so like I don't know. It's just a little thing, but like it is the little things. If it's like pair of shoes or the camping trip or the festival or the haircut, like if it is making you feel good, I mean obviously there's like a limit
to some extent.
But like like at a certain like do whatever it takes to treat yourself. If that's like giving yourself a manicure and pedicure, like okay, obviously take it in stride. Don't go buying a car if you don't have money to buy a car, because a new car makes you happy. That's not what I'm trying to say. But like I'm comfortable with feeling like I'm taking a loss if like something is, if there's like a trade, like a trade in, like,
and like also like knowing that like we're both responsible enough that we're not actually gonna let ourselves get into like $100,000 in debt. Like we're not someone who has no care for responsibility. We just know that we're in a situation right now and we'll get out of it. And it's like not fun, but at the same time like I wasn't gonna like limit my life experience because I'm scared of money. And I mean I am scared of money, but
so aren't we all? If you're not, you're lucky.
But like at the same time, like like it comes and it goes, and like I hope to reach a place where it is not going so often.
It tends to just flock to me. That would be nice.
But yeah, at the same time, I think like a big fear was also like the outside judgment of like not having like super stable finances. I'm just like, oh my God, she's so irresponsible. Like, why did she go on that trip if she can't pay month? Pay rent next
Taylor,
month?
what are you doing?
And that's why I'm like, it's no one else's problem.
It doesn't have to be valid to you. It was what I decided.
I'm not asking
it's not
for
your
help.
money. So when you're saying that, I thought maybe you think of my family, because I'm very good at spending my money in ways that lots of people think is not necessary, and like I should be doing other things. But
worry about yourself.
I'm cool with renting a room. Why do I need a whole apartment? What because you decided you thought I needed an apartment to be an adult? Like, I don't think so. I'm moving all around the place and getting tattoos and buying stuff and like doing the thing. And I've got next to no money in my bank account, but like
I'd love to have an apartment. Don't get me wrong.
For sure. But like it's not, I don't know. It took me a while to care a lot less about what my family was thinking like of me, and like my progress and where I was, and like realizing that I need to find a way to be proud of what I've done, because I can't expect my family to, or anybody to, but I think like for most people, their family's opinions really like weigh heavily on their lives, and mine is that same way. So like learning to like let go of that and be more comfortable with, I like joking, like be more comfortable with being a failure. Not that like but I fail all the time. I stay failing. That's why I keep moving place to place to place, because like stuff's not working out. But it's like, the trying and trying again, and like that's what I'm comfortable with. I would feel like I mean, most people take this path, so obviously I'm not calling everyone who's taking this path a failure, because that's like literally not true. But if I had gone to college and sat there for 4 years and was like doing something, like that's not what I would be happy doing. Like I would have failed. I would have failed myself financially, my like whole youth, all the stuff I've experienced. No one else I know has experienced in these years because they were all in school. Totally fine and valid. Obviously, like everyone does it for a reason. Like, please don't misinterpret. Like, I'm not knocking school, but I, needed to find a way to feel proud of myself, because like at a certain point, people stop telling you. But I feel like we're all raised to like need validation. So when your parents are like, okay, like why are you doing this? Like, why aren't you doing this? Like, it makes you want to like stop what you're doing and go do what they're doing. Like, why?
Because like you're not.
Do you live in their house? Are they paying your bills? If they are, like, I guess congratulations for you, but that's not how I want to live. I'd rather be struggling and doing exactly what makes me happy. I'd rather be, like, literally, like, I have decided, like, live in a car instead of live somewhere that makes me unhappy. And, like, that, like, I'm proud of that. Like, no, I don't know anyone else who's 23 who can tell me that they've lived in their car for extensive periods of time, but, like, that was the right move for me at the time. Was it easy? Absolutely not. Would I want to do it again? Absolutely not. Like, is it like frustrating for me to think about sometimes? For sure. But and like, did my parents think I was a failure? Definitely. But here I am.
Oh, are you helping me?
Yeah, like, so, like, I just don't care. And for people that, I don't know, like I've heard this talked about on social media a lot, but for the people who like are lucky enough to have, your family supporting you and helping you and like having your back or having a safety net, if you're not happy because you're listening to them, like, why do you want their help? And like, I'm just telling you as someone who's like, generally lately, my parents have been really working with me and like doing their best to be as helpful as they can, and like I'm gonna go stay with them for a while, so I don't want to like make it seem like I'm like bashing on them, but in the past, that was not the case. And I just think that doesn't make sense. Like, I'm just telling you from experience, you would be so much happier doing what you want, what makes you happy, even if that means having no money, even if that means you're going to be homeless, even if that means that they're not going to invite you to Thanksgiving dinner because you decided that you wanted to be an artist or you wanted to drop out of school or like whatever it is, like, do it. Because worst case, you just go back. I bet you they'll pay for it. I'm so sorry. Like, they will. Like, they're paying for it before. They'll pay for it again. Like, stop getting their help and literally go do what you want to do. Fall on your face and do what you want to do. Because if you have the safety net anyway, they're not going to let you really fall on your face. So, like, you may as well give it a shot. Yeah. Like,
and even if you don't have a safety net.
Yeah, I didn't do it. I still don't know what I want to do. I'm driving around the country trying to figure it out, trying to wait till I find something that I'm passionate enough about, just because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste my money. Like, I work really hard for the money that I do have, and I don't plan on spending it sitting in a classroom. So, waiting to figure out what I want to do. But, like, for everyone else, if you're feeling stuck, do you live in your parents' house? Move out. Are they paying for your bills? Don't let them. And then their opinion doesn't matter. Like, don't let it matter. I don't know.
And not just, like, for your parents. Like,
your friends, your significant other. Like, literally, like, I think if you don't, even if you think that you're successful, if you haven't fallen on your face, you're not. Because you have no idea what you might be doing instead.
Absolutely. And that is, like, literally such a profound and powerful statement. Like, you hear this a million times. Mm-hmm. Failure is not really failing because you're learning. You're refining where you actually want to go.
And, like, sure, it's embarrassing. The idea of failure is coming from your ego. That's just, like, embarrassment. Like, you're not, like, how do you, like, fail at being a human being? I'm, like, confused. The only way I think you could fail at being a human being is if, like, you are, like, killing people or, you're, like, someone who, like is, like, actively harming others, like, then you're failing. If you like are
anti-human.
If you're happy, like, hurting others, and, like, okay, yeah, obviously. But other than that, like, I don't see people as a failure. Like, I don't walk down in OB, there's a lot of homeless people. Like, I'm not walking down, like, thinking they're failures. I don't know what their stories are, but, like, exactly. I've been there, and I know I wasn't a failure. I knew I wasn't a bad person. I know I wasn't, like, like, it's all, like, very situational, and it's just about, how you... and it's obviously way easier said than done. I know that I don't know. I'm assuming it's terrifying to move out of your parents' house who pays for everything and like go figure out what you want to do. But
you're going to spend your whole life
if you're
wondering
feeling
what
that
if.
hole, if you're having that hole, you're always going to stay answering to your parents, and for lack of better words, like being their bitch. And when are you going to be an adult? Like, when are you going to figure out what you like, what you don't like? How are you going to form your own opinions if you only know theirs? And why do theirs matter? Because honestly, whatever age they are, 53, it's their first time being 53.
It's everyone's first time being human.
I bet you that they would have done something differently when they were 23. I bet you that there's something in the back of their head that they wish they were doing instead. Or like, you know? So don't, like, just because someone has like strong opinions about what you should or shouldn't be doing doesn't mean that they know anything more than you. I like realized that when my parents like to give me a lot of unsolicited advice, bless their hearts, but like I shared with one of them eventually. I was like, look, like, we are very different and I don't want to take your path. So your advice is not helpful for me. That is not how I function. That's not how I think or feel. So I'm not doing that. And if you could stop shoving that down my throat, I'd really appreciate it. Because I can't communicate with you when all you're doing is saying this, and that's just like not my reality.
Yeah.
And you know,
and it's hard for them to hear that response because like they're doing it because they care for you.
Yeah, they care for you and they see you as a child. Like, put on your big girl panties or big boy person panties, and and like stick up for yourself. Like, figure out, like, I don't know. I see that with a lot of the people that I had met, I guess mostly in Virginia, just because that was like, that's the most wealth I've ever been around in my life, was like that area. And I see that with a lot of the people I'd met there, like just doing whatever their parents wanted to do. Why? Because it was easier. Why? Because they were paying. Were they having fun? No. Were they like experiencing things? No. Meeting new people, moving around, like trying scary things, you know, taking any risk? No. Like, so what fun is that? Why would you want to live in your parents' house till you go to college, just to move back into your parents' house, just to get into a relationship, to live in with them, to get married? Like, what? You did not do anything. Who are you as an individual? You know who you are as a child. You know who you are as a partner or as a student or as an employee, but like, who are you?
Yeah, like you think you know who you are because you're just
blindly
you adopted
following
labels.
Yeah. You're just like, someone tells you were this, and you're like, okay. Okay, you're a student now. Okay, great. Okay, you're in a frat now. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that. All right. Okay, now you're an accountant. Like, okay, and you're married. Okay, but like, did you?
I'm glad that you picked up like a chess hobby.
Yeah, like what about, like, you know, what about that crazy friend who invited you to go on the trip to Europe and you didn't go? And now they're doing some crazy cool thing and they live somewhere else and like their life is so glamorous and like you know, look at your own like wondering, like, don't let that be you. Like, I don't know. And I mean, on the other end of things, I have no idea what I am super passionate about anymore. So I'm just kind of floundering around. But like my take, I guess, for my life, how I try to go about it is like, I just don't want to waste my time. So that's why I haven't paid to sit in a university, because I would waste my time. I don't know what I want to study or what I want to do right now. And I 1000% am not paying that much money to go do it. I don't think that makes sense. Not for my life. Just for me and like where I'm at doesn't make sense.
No, absolutely. Because especially I saw this thing that was just talking about how much tuition cost when our parents went to college and how much it costs now. It's like tenfold.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, okay, when you were in high school, do you do the same things you did now? No. So when you're 19 and 20 picking your major, is that what you're going to want to do 20 years from now? 30 years from now? 40? No.
And you think because you paid $100,000 to go to school, or
and like, it just didn't make sense to me. And like, I gave it a shot. I tried to pay for community college and whatever, and like, it wasn't sitting right, and I just want to know what I'm passionate about. Like, I'd rather struggle and like work waitressing, nannying, tutoring jobs, like to make ends meet until so I can find something that I love, so that like the money and stuff like won't really like matter, and whatever anybody else has to say about what I'm doing is not going to matter, because I'm feeling fulfilled. It doesn't matter if my pocket's fulfilled, if like my parents feel fulfilled, I feel fulfilled. Right now, I don't specifically moving around, and that's like very frustrating. So like, you know, but I just can't imagine. I think about where I am knowing I I've only wasted a couple grand in school, knowing that I've only wasted a few months of my life in this classrooms, wondering the people who know that they wasted their years, like, sit with that for a second. Like, and I'm not trying to, like, make you, like, feel guilty about it or anything, but, like, you're going to keep doing it again unless you realize that you just did that. Mm-hmm. Like
you're
like,
doing that in, like, your
you're
corporate
literally
job
doing
right
it right now. like
some of you guys are probably listening to this at work.
Like, are you happy at work? Do you have to close your browser when your boss walks by because you're online shopping because you hate your job?
Because really, it only takes you an hour out of your day to do the work, and the other 7 hours you're just sticking around,
like,
watching the clock.
And I just, like, think about, I don't know.
Sounds cliche, but, like, really.
Yeah, for real. Well, and just, like, the people that did spend so much money, like, don't, like, come on.
You spent all this money for this to be
like,
stable?
You're not happy. Like, you already made the mistake, so just go fall on your face because you have your degree.
Follow your dreams, guys. Follow your dreams.
And, like, even if you don't know what your dream is,
like,
don't, like,
go find it. Go find yourself, too,
I don't know what my
it.
dream is, so I'm not going to commit my literal probably life's earnings to, like, some degree for some job that I don't know if I'm going to love. What? Like, no. I don't even do the same things now that I did 2 years ago, a year ago. So, like, what? I have no idea. I just don't know what the rush is for. Everyone's in a rush.
Everyone's in such a rush.
Such a rush. And, like, I get wanting your house and wanting the car and, like, wanting the family or the ring or the promotion or, like, whatever you're waiting for.
You're going to miss everything.
But, yeah, and I'm telling you that you're going to miss something as someone who felt like I haven't missed a lot. I thought I missed a lot when all my friends were in college. And since they've all been out, I've realized I've missed absolutely nothing. I am over the moon that I didn't go to university. My family's very disappointed still talk about it often. That would have been the biggest waste of time. I genuinely believe I would be someone I would really dislike. And I think I would have, like, met people, like, just because of the schools I probably would have gone to, I would have met people that behave in the ways that we were talking about before, you know, where they were raised a certain way and don't have to be in touch with other people's, like, realities and feelings and stuff. And, like, no. Yeah. Very glad I didn't go. I'm very glad that I'm here floating around having no idea what I'm doing, because I'm not. My parents think I'm wasting my time. I really don't feel like I am. I feel like I'm getting to know myself better than a lot of my peers, and, like, I'm just having more experiences. I'm meeting more people. Who else? I don't know anyone else who's moved all around the place on their own, you know? And, like, that's hard. It's not hard until you've done it. You know, this is your first time doing it. Like, it's hard. And I'm not talking, like, moving from your parents' house to your dorm or whatever, or, like, to your store. That's not the same thing.
Or,
like,
or just, like, you know, moving to where all your college
like,
friends
dead
move
ass
to.
Moving yourself somewhere else away from your family alone is hard. And it's terrifying and so gratifying.
Wait, you can expand or you can pause, but I'm literally about to pee my pants.
Dude. Okay.
You can keep talking if you want. I'm just gonna... I'll be right back.
Okay.
You don't have to. I can always...
Podcasting. On the pod. We're on the pod. Wow. We're on the pod. This human thing. Catherine's pod.
Hey guys. Sorry for that brief interruption, but I was, you know, just violently consuming water before Taylor got here out of necessity for my cells. But now I'm feeling much relieved.
Oily. It's very...
Oh, dude, like my whole body. Like I said, I feel like roadkill.
Yeah.
Actually, like just something steaming on the pavement. Not just from heat, but I feel like I got run over several times.
That type of exhaustion.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, very energized. It's like that life force energy, you know?
Yeah.
Where you're like, living.
How am I still going?
Because it's like you feel more alive. Like, you feel more alive when you're not necessarily, like, in the extremes, but you're not just staying stagnant in the middle. Like when you have some back and forth, you got that nice sine wave going.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I need some excitement.
Yeah, that's that life force. Life isn't stagnant. It's this moving thing. It's just,
For real. It's stressful.
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right? For real. Honestly, though. Yeah, I like think about what my life would be like if it was less stressful. I'm like, okay.
I literally regret nothing.
Yeah, like maybe it'd be less stressful. Maybe if I had gone to school, but then what? That's me betting that I would have finished well, gotten a job, or what? Like stayed home and comfy with my parents. No, I'm an adult. So, no regrets. I would rather be uncomfy and alone than comfy on my parents' couch or bedroom. Maybe you have a guest room. Or maybe you have your own bedroom there still. I don't know.
Or maybe they're paying for your rent.
Oh, my God. I, like, forget that that's, like a reality for some people. Honestly, like, when I, like, hear stuff like that, it, like, catches me off guard. I'm like, wait, what? Because, like, I've heard of it when people are in college, which... Still wasn't gonna be my reality. Can't imagine that. But like when you're out of college, because in my family, like you're grown when you're 18. So like, what are you on my couch for? like go do something. You're like, what are you doing? Like I'm not paying your rent. So yeah, like I don't know. Also, I just feel like I just think I'd be uncomfortable. I don't feel like when I'm with my parents, you can be an adult. You don't, because you're their child. You have to fit the role of the child, so you're not yourself. You're not learning and growing about like.
And even if you're not physically living with your parents, and it's not even, like, when we're talking about all this, like, it's not just your parents, but it's just kind of, like, conforming to, like, what you've been born into thinking is the path to do. Like, the culture, you know? And, you know... the culture gives you a little bit of leeway, you know, where you're just like, oh yeah, express yourself. And some girls just like, I painted today, or like I went on this trip.
Deeper than that,
and like you're always gonna be searching for something unless you like really reflect on yourself and really reflect on like what you want to do. And like this is something that got me like so passionate the other day. I might have talked about this on the last podcast with Audrey, but just like, and again, it sounds so cliche, but like try to listen to this stuff like you haven't heard it before, and like really feeling like how personal this really is. Like when you're old and you know you're reaching your last years, like do you want to look back on your life and saying, oh, what if I did that, or what if I did that? Like I know, and I am like fully sure of this, I'm going to look back on my life and have absolutely no regrets, because I wasn't scared to take those leaps and to do those scary things. And like as I get older,
staying still is what makes you regret things.
Because people are going to look back, and again, we sound like a broken record, but you know, they grew up and they went to school and they got the job and then they got married and then they raised their kids, and now they're, oh wow, my whole life just flew by. And the thing is, like, on paper, all of that sounds nice and good and stable, the American dream, whatever, but your life isn't like those descriptors. It's not those descriptors. Like your life is the details, and it is like the little moments day to day. And even though if you meet someone and you can tell them, guys, guess what, I have this awesome job, and like I meditate every day, and like I have a nice looking boyfriend or girlfriend, and like we're going to Spain this summer, and you know, whatever, if you can sound good on paper but like in your day to day you feel lacking, like you're literally just lying to yourself and lying to everyone else.
Well, it's definitely harder or easier said than done.
Absolutely.
To like be like, okay, like I'm lacking, like what can I be doing to like feel this lack less? And I think that like full circle to get to that point, to be able to figure out what you feel like you're lacking, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Like you have to let yourself fail or fall, or you know, however you see it, move out, take the class, drop the class, take the trip, do the whatever, you know? Because, like, I don't know. I try to think about it a lot, like as, like, a timeline. So, like, let's say we're talking about moving. If you're considering moving to, I don't fucking know, Texas. Like, okay, do I move to Texas? Do I not move to Texas? Okay, in 1 year, maybe you'll regret it, maybe you won't. But in 5 years, again, maybe you'll regret it, maybe you won't. In 5 years, maybe you'll be in some relationship while you get married, I don't know. But in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years, if your ass has still not lived in Texas, you're going to wonder why you never lived in Texas and what Texas would have been like. I would much rather prefer to haul ass to Texas, figure out if I like it or not, and if I don't, go somewhere else. Because then, you know, you're not the old person, like, oh, that was kind of, I didn't mean to come off that way, but you're not the older person, like, you know, like, wishing that you did all these things. Like, why not?
Yeah, literally, why not?
Because someone said they didn't think you should.
You think you need to live a certain way.
They are not living in your body. Like, who cares if they think that, like, I don't know.
Yeah, just the whole, I don't know, like, general consensus, which is a huge misconception, that life needs to be lived a certain way is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, everyone says, you know, well, if you follow in high school, okay, well, this is the college track. This is the path. Are you on college track? Do you remember them saying that all the time? Are you on the college track? Like, what the fuck does that even, what? I think like, so. Am I in a race
I'm
car?
here. I'm in school, right? Like, what does that mean? No, it should have been, okay, like, high school, here, I want you to try a bunch of things. Fail at them, succeed at them, doesn't matter. Figure out what you like or you don't like so that you don't go to college and waste your time. Or so you can figure out that you still, like me, have no idea what you want to do. And that way you don't go waste your time and you can spend the most energetic, the youngest, the most exciting, the most exuberant years of your life aren't being spent. And I mean, if you need to spend them in a classroom, 100%, like, kudos to you, like, do that. But if that's not the case, and I feel like, you know, if you're, that's probably not the case, then, like, what?
Yeah, and, like, for some people, like, you know, they really want to be a doctor. They really want to be. Oh, yeah.
And that, like, passion like that's amazing. Like, don't, obviously, like,
yeah.
I'm not.
And some people have the luxury of going to college to be able to try out more things that way. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with any step you're taking. It's just not doing it blindly. And so you go to college and maybe you fail at finding something you're passionate about. And maybe you graduate and you get a job and you're still not passionate about your job.
Don't let that be your forever.
Yeah, and don't settle.
Yeah.
So many people just settle.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of something being worse.
Yeah.
And, you know, like we were saying before, like, the only failure is not trying. Yeah. Again, there's, like, that Thomas Edison quote, which is, like, or not quote, but just his life of, you know, he literally was shoving millions of little things into a bulb trying to make it light up. And that's kind of, this is so cute, but that's, like, what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a million things to find that one thing that makes us light up.
Yeah, honestly, I met this guy a while ago. I don't even remember his name. He's from, like, New Zealand or something. And he had, like, gone to school and was in debt and was feeling unfulfilled and had, like, started some, like, I don't fucking know, some, like, corporate job somewhere, like, not feeling fulfilled. And what he decided to do was he felt like he couldn't just, like, quit his job. And he felt like he didn't want to, like, work a job with, like, less, like, status just in case, like, he wanted to still have it, like, in his back pocket or whatever. So he would work his, like, himself, like, to the bone for 9 months and take 3 months off every single year and would go to, like, 10 different countries in those 3 months. And, like, I met him while doing that. Like, we met in DC and he was, like, traveling with his friends, like, on the tail end of his trip and was just like, I'm trying to figure out, like, what I want to do and what makes me happy. And, like, I wasted my time and, like, I'm, like, working this job and I hate it. So I, like, work as much as, I mean, like, that's what works for him. Obviously, that doesn't work for everybody, but, like,
and, like, maybe, you know, the corporate job is what works for you.
Yeah.
We're not saying that that's not what works for you.
And maybe if it's too scary of a leap, like, do what he's doing. Like, you know, like, mix it up
literally,
a little bit.
There's nothing wrong to do.
Just keep trying.
Yeah, the only, like, wrong thing you can do is to, like, not question what you're doing.
Constantly question yourself and your choices and what's next. Like, there should be something different next. It should not always just be like, how is this specific situation going to progress? Like, okay, like, how's it going to like change? What's going to change? Like, there should be like evolution, like, always.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And that's like, there's like some meme where like someone sees someone after a long time and they're just like, damn, like, you really changed. They're like, yeah, like, I would have hoped so.
Yeah, for real, honestly. Yeah, I hope so.
I don't want to be the same as like when you knew me in high school.
I mean, sometimes though, like, when I look back, like, I do feel like in some ways, like, maybe I haven't. Like,
well, it's the
do
same.
you think? What do you think? Like,
well, it's like this, like, whatever is like your core, like whatever is like Taylor, that's still there.
Yeah.
But, you know, everything around that has like shifted and evolved.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Dang. I don't know. It's weird, like, thinking about, like, who, you know, we were in high school, like, trying to remember, like, who I was, or, like, wonder, like, how I was perceived, or, you know, obviously each person you meet has a very different understanding of, like, who you are than who you know yourself to be. Sometimes I just want to, like, send a survey to everyone I've ever met and be like, I'm just, like, a little bit curious.
Yeah.
Like, what are you know? Because I'm sure that there are people that have met me and not gotten the side that I would like to portray, or, like, I was in a bad mood, or I was, you know, like, whatever, just not being my best self, and, like, wondering, like, what that is, or, like, you know, like, what people think of you, like, at work and stuff. Not, like, what they think of, but, like, my character, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know.
It is so interesting. Like so many times I'm just like, damn, I would love to either, like, meet myself or just be looking through someone else's eyes at myself, and maybe not even just their eyes, but, like, through, like, their actual perspective, like, through their actual person. Like,
to be, like, hearing and thinking what they're, or hearing what they're thinking about you.
Yeah. Just honestly, not so I can, like, try to, like, dissect it,
but you know, what I'm putting out there, because
like,
I feel
how
like,
are people receiving me,
because perception
and how
is
can I change?
reality at the end of the day, and like, I know a lot of people in my life believe that they are projecting a certain thing, and that is not what I am feeling back from them, and that's something Robin used to say to me all the time. Taylor, perception's reality, perception's reality, perception's reality. And I try to think about that, like, a lot. Like, I try, you know, if someone's, like, saying I'm coming off a certain way, or I said something a certain way, like,
You're like, it doesn't matter if
then I need to work on how I communicated that.
Yeah,
I should have clarified. Like,
exactly. And that takes such a level of humility that so many people are lacking.
It's super frustrating sometimes too. But, like, yeah, it's, you know,
to, again, just, like, let go of your ego for a second. Obviously, this person wouldn't be coming at you with this criticism if it weren't true for them.
Yeah.
Like, whether they're, you know, quote unquote misinterpreting, it's may not necessarily be that they're misinterpreting, just rather that you guys have clashing perspectives.
Yeah.
And so what's true for you is true for you, and what's true for the other person is true for them. And, like, by learning to communicate better with each other, we can learn to understand that very basic principle.
Yeah, really. Yeah. I wish people were better at communicating.
I think that with communication, like, with ourselves and with what we're experiencing and with other people, if we were able to do that so much better, like, we wouldn't necessarily have any problems.
Yeah.
Like, there would still be things that were negative or positive, but, like, all of this clashing and, you know, so much of this,
calmly express ourselves. Yeah.
Or even, like, get angry or get sad or whatever, but, like, then the other person isn't going to take it personally.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
just like transparency.
Yeah. But, yeah, so many people are just so afraid to speak openly and honestly with themselves and with others and with whatever their perspective is on life, because, you know, they're scared that it's gonna, like, that someone's not gonna accept them, or, and again, this sounds so cliche, but, like, so true and, like, so potent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, if you're not able to take those risks and to face those fears, to maybe let some people go, or let go of that pride that you have to, you know, express yourself fully to someone. And that's something that I've been learning so much recently. I'm like, Kat, like, if you hurt their feelings, like, as long as you're coming from a place of, you're not coming at them because you want to hurt them. You're literally coming at them because you're trying to properly communicate with them, and because you actually do care about them, even if they made you angry, even if they made you sad. You know, it's like really the intention that you have behind what you're saying. Like, I'm not coming at you trying to attack you. I'm expressing this because, like, I care about you, and I care about me, and I care about our relationship, and so I'm trying to communicate this to you so we can reach a mutual understanding. And that's something that I didn't even realize that I was scared to do a lot, because I was scared of hurting other people's feelings, or I was scared of people thinking that I was mean.
We did that a lot. Remember when what was that, I think in DC? Was it in DC where we had that, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of stuff I had been, like, keeping from you, just, like feelings from just, like, years of stuff. And, like, obviously we were still, like, doing well and, like, hanging out, and I, like, loved you, and, you know, like, friendship was fine. Yeah, I think it was, like, in DC. I just remember us, like crying in the road, like, hugging each other, like, or, like, on the sidewalk or something, like, it was dark, and we were just, like, dressed up nice. Maybe it was in San Diego.
Well, we did.
When we had that, like, really big, honest, like, talk. I mean, we talk honestly in general, but, like...
Yeah. I told you there's a fiesta outside.
Oh.
No.
And, yeah, we had been afraid, or not we, I had been afraid.
No, but me too.
Okay, I don't want to put words in your mouth,
Yeah.
but, like, I had been really afraid to, and, like, you're my best friend, like, I could tell you anything, and have told you, like, crazy things, so I've already put that to the test, but I was, like, afraid to tell you this, like, thing, like, that you had hurt my feelings, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings, that, like, my feelings had been hurt. And even though I knew you weren't trying to intentionally hurt my feelings, because, like, you're not a malicious person, you just are not, I, like, felt this weird, like, pullback. Like, I felt like I was scared maybe of, like, how I was going to be perceived, like, having that. And, like, again, with, like, you know, like, ego stays getting in the way, like, Jesus Christ, like, and once we finally talked about that, like, it was actually, like, a really beautiful conversation, like, full of pain, of course, but, like, beautiful. I felt like, because we were, you could see how much I cared about you, and how much you cared about me, and, like, how, like, alarmed we were that, like, the realities that each other were living in. And then, you know, not only that, but, like, that we hadn't been talking about it for so long, and that it just kept, like, going. And I feel like since then we've been doing so much better. Like, and I don't even think when we had the first talk it was uncomfortable. It was just uncomfortable because it never happened before. Yeah. And uncomfortable because a lot of my friendships, we don't have that. Like, there are maybe 4 peers in my life that I feel like I could, like, tell them that they hurt me and wouldn't feel like, I mean, I am myself and, like, anxious. Like, I, of course, would be, like, nervous, but, you know, like, feeling the bravery to be vulnerable, and especially telling someone that you feel that they've, I don't know if wronged you is the best word, but, like, that's scary. And you don't want to hurt, you know, it's usually someone you love, and you don't want to, like, hurt them, but
like, you're
it makes shit so much deeper. Yeah, and, like, I don't know when I first heard this or where I first heard this, but, like, something really beautiful about loving people, like, thoroughly and deeply, like, wholly, is that you can get really angry at them, and they're not supposed to leave. Like, if they, like, love you like they said they do, and you know them, like, you're convinced that you do, then get mad at them, because they're not going to leave. You can talk it out. If they know you that well, they know you when you're mad, and they know that you're still coming from a place of love, and they know, you know, like, and I felt like somehow that hadn't connected for you and I, and, like, we, like, knew that, but there were so many things. I'm just, for a very long time, was very non-confrontational, and, like, just didn't want to tell anyone if they hurt me ever. So, like, I mean, even a few months ago we were talking about shit that, like, hurt me from high school, that, like, my bad that I wasn't, like, already over it, but you know, feelings are feelings, like, they are what they are, like, I have to respect them even if I think that they're stupid, but, like, you know, like, that is, like, such a cool, like, place to be, I think, for me and you, like, to finally, like, have that where, you know, or just like the complete transparency. Like
It's literally just a breath of fresh air knowing that you can be with someone and you don't have to wear any kind of mask. You don't need to hold back in any sense. And it really is, it's like the fear or the restriction or something that you hold on yourself to not communicate honestly is because you're scared that that person's gonna leave.
And really.
And like once you understand that, like, okay, unconditional love means that they love you no matter what. Maybe you guys aren't supposed to be in each other's lives for a certain amount of time. Maybe something. But like I know at least for you and me, and like we've had these conversations, like, and that's one of the reasons that I value our friendship so much is because like you challenge me and you tell me, no, Kat, like Catherine.
I never call you Kat.
I know you called me Kat at work the other day and I was
I caught myself off guard. I was like, but it was like because we were rushing and I was like Kat and I was like, whoa.
But you know, it's like you'll call me out on my bullshit, and like honestly, like I don't have many people in my life that do that. Like even if because like I am usually calling myself out on my bullshit so often, maybe other people think that they don't need to, or maybe people don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing usually, but I just like I don't have people in my life that are telling me where I'm lacking. And like you do that for me. Again, it's not in like a judgmental place, it's not in like from a malicious place, but it's like literally because like you care about me and you want me to refine this aspect of how I'm seeing. Like you want me to see more clearly on a certain issue. And so like I respect that and I admire that and I love that so much about our relationship because like I know that, you know, maybe we're not going to be in each other's lives for a little bit, or maybe we really hurt each other's feelings. But like at the end of the day, like I know that
little thing can't erase almost 10 years of bonding and like literally growing up together. Like that's your when you're 15 to like 14 15 to 23, that's like a huge, those are really important years. And something I think is really like, I don't have a lot of friendships where like we can have a disagreement or like have like a heated conversation, whether it's a disagreement of like, we usually don't have, I feel like, ethical disagreements, but just like mentality, you know, or whatever, or like whatever,
like how we're behaving, or stuff like that.
And we'll like talk about it. It'll like get kind of heated, but we both understand like it's fine,
and it always ends like in some kind of loving way.
Like fine, like and even if it's like very uncomfortable, and like I have a hard time getting sometimes like staying comfortable in uncomfortable conversations, just I think as like anxiety. I don't know. That's like my logic for everything. I'm like, it's probably just my anxiety. But we'll stay there with each other through that discomfort, through that, even if it's silence, just walking on the beach, letting whichever one of us needs to like do that, and then
the other person isn't leaving.
Yeah, but like I still know who you are. I still know who you are at your core. Like I still know like what we've done for each other, and like it just doesn't matter. And I think, you know, I hope to find more people that I feel like I can be that honest with and that open with, and be comfortable enough to be angry and know they're not going to walk away. I think, I mean, you know, like with how I grew up, I have a hard time with the concept of like people leaving me, and I'm big on like, I'm going to leave you before you leave me. Like I hate being left. It happens all the time. Like I'm like, I feel like I'm growing out of it for sure. It took like work, but that was really never like a concern with us. And you're the only person that I've known since freshman year of high school who did not leave me. Like I have friends that I've been friends with since high school, and like if you're hearing this, hi, I love you. But you left at some point, honestly, and that's fine. Like people leave, but like it was like we would like ebb and flow, but I never was like, wow, like me and Catherine aren't friends. Like, wow, like Catherine really doesn't like me, like she doesn't love me anymore, like I can't come to her with this. And that's so special, like especially like just so you know, like from someone who just straight up like didn't have that shit like ever, like knowing that no matter what, like you're gonna be there and like I'm gonna be there, like I guess no, because I always try to be everyone's ride or die no matter what. And I consistently, most of my life, felt like I didn't have one. So it's, like, really cool to like know that like there's someone there who like I can tell you. I mean, I don't know if I would ever do anything crazier than some of the things I've done so far. But you just handle it. And like it's just like fine, and just knowing that like feeling that unconditional love, and I guess, you know, just some words of encouragement, like try to love people like that, like, because you don't, I mean, a lot of people didn't feel the unconditional love they think they needed to, and like growing up, and like as friends we can give that to each other. It just takes a lot of work and time and patience, but I think it's like so gratifying. And it's not something I think about often. Like I'm not like, oh, like here I'm looking for an unconditional friend. Let me put a little ad on Craigslist, like looking for someone who will handle me when I'm mad, like we can disagree, but just like, I don't know, taking that leap and like being vulnerable, like test your friendships, like I don't know. Ours, like, I feel like I've been tested a lot, and it's, like, strong as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Even when
we were driving back from LA that one day, I was just, like, I started crying because I, like, felt so bad, but then at the same time, because I was just, like, damn, our relationship's
I was like, we're strong as fuck. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, like, when you, like, every time that you get in a disagreement or you know, you take like that uncomfortable leap in a relationship and you test it, and it just gives that reassurance. And, like, literally like makes the rope thicker or whatever. I don't know what analogy I'm using there, but it's just like, it's like literally brings like tears to your eyes. You're like, wow, like this person is like a good one.
Yeah, like really here for me, like really loves me and knows me. And I try to like be that. It's hard, for sure, I think.
When that's not reflected back to you in so many instances.
Yeah, but I think, like, I have a tattoo on my hand that says made to love. A friend told me that he thought that was, like, my purpose, and I do kind of, like, think so. For a long time, I thought my purpose was to, like, be a mom and have a family. And as I've gotten older, my, like, perceptions of, like, what that means kind of has changed, and, like, what I thought my timeline was and kind of, like, what my goals are have changed. So like broader than like made to be a mom, like I feel like I'm made to love. I feel like I'm very much capable of wholeheartedly loving lots of people, and like I can be that ride or die. Like I can overlook shit, and I can like forgive probably too much. And you know, like stuff like, not, I didn't mean that like towards you, like with other people, you know, like you know. But
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, like trying to do that is like what fills my cup, because at the end of the day, like if, you know, when I'm 33, 10 years from now, look around and, like, still, if, like, I don't know, all I have are the 3 or 4 people that I feel like I can actually talk to, well, then what that means is that everyone else that was around me, like, I loved them and they didn't love me back the same, and, like, I don't need that. That's okay. Like, that probably hurt.
It's heartbreaking.
Whatever lesson, like, dealing with that literally right now. Like, I, you know, had really gotten my hopes up about someone and was really like trying to love them, or like get to that point, I guess is probably a better way to say it. And at the end of the day, like I gave all that I could and I didn't get what I wanted back. And as frustrating as that is, and like as much as it makes me want to like keep trying, like just like
you have
walk
to learn
away.
to
like
let
it's
it
okay.
go.
Like I'm not even like like sometimes I get angry about it because I want to be angry instead of sad. But in general, like I'm content knowing that like I did everything I could to like make that happen and to make them know that like I wanted them and cared about them, and like that's that. And I try to do that with like all my friendships, family relationships, romantic relationships, whatever, you know. No, but it's 100%. Hard. It's exhausting.
It's exhausting, but again, it's like I would rather, you know, send someone a huge paragraph, very, you know, concisely saying how I feel and not get the response that like I was maybe hoping for, or maybe they don't receive it in the way, again, like their perception and my perception is not on the same level. And you know, that's scary and that's painful, but really at the end of the day, like I want to put my energy into people who are going to you know, make that love more. And I don't know, they don't need to like necessarily like really, really give that love back, but like at least like we're on the same wavelength, you know? And it's not like I'm gonna love those people who don't like respond to me in the way that I would hope to. It's not like I love them any less. It's just like, okay, well, we're doing our own thing right now. And if you ever want to connect again, like, I'll be here. Maybe like our relationship won't be of the same nature. Yeah. But like, I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. And I'm just like saying this to like anyone out there. Yeah. Like, I'm always going to be here for you no matter what. But like, you know, we're on different paths right now. Life happens. Yeah. And I just lost my train of thought. Yeah, but it's definitely frustrating and scary to have those conversations, or to like send that text or leave that voicemail or whatever it is. But again, like as we were talking about before, like I regret nothing in those situations. Like like years from now, if I had like never said that to someone, or I had never expressed how I really feel, I would just be left wondering of like how something fizzled out, or whatever it is. To like set boundaries is like a huge one, but then also just to like clear the air. I'm just like, this is how I feel. You can respond however you respond. I'm just letting you know. Yeah.
Well, and even if like you do that and regret, you know, like sometimes you send that text and you get a not ideal response back, like you do feel regret. But that's gonna happen. That's not gonna be there for more than a week. Mm-hmm. In a year from now, you're not gonna remember the text that you sent or what the reply was. Like, you're not gonna care.
You're gonna remember though, because like you literally teach yourself, oh, am I being honest and authentic, or am I like literally like living in fear my whole life because I'm scared people are gonna leave me? Yeah, people are going to leave you. You don't want those people in your life. And by sending those texts, by having those conversations, you're seeing like, oh, do I want this person in my life? Or like, is this person someone who I can really grow with? Or do we need to grow apart for now, maybe to meet again, maybe we'll just grow apart forever. But, you know, like we can't just loosely hold on to everyone with like half-assed relationships. Yeah. I don't want half-assed relationships. Like I want like a full one, you know?
Yeah. And I think like, that's a really cool thing to be able to say. Like, I feel like a lot of people don't know how to, like, it's a simple thing to articulate, but, like, you don't really think, like, setting expectations for the effort that you need. If you're not getting the effort that you need to feel full, and, like, if you're not like me and you don't feel full just by loving people, like, you need to for sure feel stuff back, then, like, you know, it doesn't make you, like, you're not wrong for, setting boundaries, for, like, giving yourself space if someone's not treating you how, like, you know that you should be treated, or giving you what you want back. Like, then they're not for you. Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Definitely. And you definitely need to come from a place of knowing that, like, you're already full. You already are full no matter what. You don't need another person to fill you. Yeah. But, you know, then there's the other flip side of a coin where, like, if I'm in a relationship, I'm putting energy into this relationship, whatever it may be. If it's literally just like an energy suck and it's just draining me, like, to respect both of us, I'm not going to stay in that relationship anymore, because it's just not mutually beneficial. It's either draining both of us, or only one of us is getting like the reward for it, or it's just kind of like complacent and just kind of like a waste of time. Mm-hmm.
We do not like to waste our time.
Oh no. I mean, I waste a lot of my time, you know, trying and failing, but
Same. That's not even a waste of time though.
A waste of time. Yeah.
I feel like I don't like, maybe a better way is, I don't like wasting my energy on people who don't think I'm worth any energy. Mm. I think, like, and it's weird to think about it that way, but like some people I feel like genuinely just believe like the friendship, whatever type of relationship you're having, like, isn't worth it. Like, why do you want that? Like,
yeah, why would you want that for yourself? Why would you want to be in a friendship or a relationship where like they don't want you back, or that they like kind of like having you around, but like, you know, it's not.
Well, and I'm so bad at that. I'll accept that shit for like too long, and then I'm like, okay, like Taylor. Well, and I'm like holding out for, like, I'm trying to be hopeful. Mm-hmm. I'm like hopeful that maybe things will, but like eventually, you know. Get real. Like, that's not like I had to be honest with myself, like, okay, like I'm wasting my energy right now. And like that is a really hard pill to swallow, but it's super freeing.
Yeah. And that's also another thing with like trying and failing, is like we're literally learning how to have authentic relationships.
Yeah.
And so, you know, by trying and failing in like where our passion is going to be in life, like, you know, finding that thing that makes you light up, like whatever that may be. And like I found like a lot of little things that make me light up, and I'm like, okay, like I'm still navigating.
Yeah.
And like what makes you light up doesn't have to be what pays the bills, but you know, I'm trying to find something that makes me light up that I can make money from. Until then, I'm fine, like not having much money and just like, you know, surviving. But yeah, like you're in your having an authentic relationship with life, like respecting it, and then finding your passion, having an authentic relationship with yourself, really getting to know yourself and questioning yourself, and trying and feeling of having like an authentic relationship with others. Like how can you really connect and like let yourself be seen, like let yourself be a mirror for that other person. And so literally all of life is just trying and failing so that you can have a deeper connection with any of those facets. And again, like by wasting your time as if you're just not trying and you're just blindly accepting and you're not really living, you're just existing,
doing whatever's easiest or whatever someone told you to do. Like,
and again, maybe part of your journey is you go through a long period of complacency. I've definitely had long periods where I'm just not really trying and I'm just kind of letting life like wash over me instead of like, you know, trying more. But I can tell by the headache that I'm forming that I need some more water. Also, I think we've been going for over 2 hours. This is the longest podcast. Also, this is really funny, but I'm at 4. I'm meeting with this guy for like guys, I literally had this one night where I put a bunch of money towards my credit card, and I was like, nope, I'll find a way to pay rent for September. And it was some night where I couldn't sleep, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. And I just like literally paid like most of my credit card, and I was like, all right, now my bank account is very, very dry and hungry, but somehow I'm gonna find a way to be able to pay September rent. And so I was literally like on this Craigslist like search trying to like find something. There's some weird posts on Craigslist. Some weird stuff, guys. But anyway, I found like this guy who was looking for an assistant to do like like social media and stuff, and he's like a professional dog groomer.
Dude, let me know if he wants to groom my dog.
Yeah. So I'm literally meeting with him at 4 to like see if I can like help him out in any way, but it'll be good money, and it's just like 1 day a week. And
that's
he just seemed really fabulous also.
I love it. I'm excited to hear how it goes.
So like I would like be doing like social media for him, I guess. I'm not sure. Help him out with the puppies. Again, literally like a very bizarre random job. But like it's so like that's fun awesome. And funny. So we'll see how it goes. So I also like need to wrap it up because of that. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming on. And it's so funny because like we just talked for 2 hours, and like literally there's 10 bajillion more hours of stuff that we could talk about, but that's why you'll just 100%. Have to come on again.
Dude. I leave on the 31st.
No, 100%. Okay, well, I'll just
close.
This
was great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. No, it was great. I'm just gonna close out with a couple of some information. So you guys can follow This Human Thing on Instagram at This Human Thing, Facebook as well. We put out new episodes every Monday, so you can, just get that nice sound into your ear holes every week. You're welcome. And and we also have a Patreon. All these links are in the show notes if you guys want to check it out. If you guys leave a review for the show, if you send me a screenshot, just DM it to me. I'll send you a sticker. So just enjoy that. And what else? Do you have any plugs?
Any plugs?
Yeah, like do you want to plug anything?
Follow
your Instagram.
Yeah, dude, follow my Instagram. It's at TaylorM_F78.
Cool. I'll link that in the description as well.
Dope.
if you guys are watching on YouTube, I am featuring this dope ass sign that Eliza and Audrey gave me that says live on air. It's like a neon sign. It's so cute. It's just like balancing on this little like Buddha head thing. Well, I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another episode. As always, you can hit me up with all your questions and I will answer them on the show. I have a couple questions to answer. I just didn't get to them today, but they will be gotten to. Don't you guys worry. I doubt you're worried, but there you go. So I'll just close again with that quote. A lot of things broke my heart, but fixed my vision. Amen. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Keep it coming.
So whatever you guys are doing out there, keep doing your thing. Peace in, peace out. Alright, that is it. Whoa, it feels like so good to take off the headphones. Oh my god.
It's like weird to use my ears.
Whew. Okay, well, let's just like take, we'll just like pose for a couple like,
That looks so bad.
just like wailing. It's okay. You can just like pose however you want. We're just gonna do a couple like. Wait, this is so awkward.
What do you do? Yeah, dude, this is fun.
Okay, it should be good. Oh, awesome. I'm actually gonna leave this. Okay, bye guys.